Hi everyone, welcome you all. So previously we have done some of the questions from outside Delhi 2018 question paper. That was question number 3 and question number 5. And today, as you can see on my screen, it is marking scheme of the same question paper 2018. And today we are going to do question number 6 and 7. Okay. So without taking much time, let's start. This size first, and this question is really straightforward. You have to just write a query to create a table inventory with these constraints. Hope this is not a big deal for you people. This is really very simple. You just have to write a create table command. So create table inventory, then we have a parenthesis, and then material id. For integer we can use int, and then we can specify space primary key comma. So is how we can specify our primary key, and then material varchar 50 and not null, comma, category, that's care, you can specify the size to 10, 20, 30, whatever. So for me it will be 2 3, that's fine. Date purchase, it's date or date time. Then finally the right parenthesis and semicolon. Okay, so here you can see how it is being done. Okay, now coming to the next question, that is the B part of the question number 6. Consider the following table, patient and test, and answer the question that follows. Here you will notice that you have to write a query and its answer gives you 2 marks each. Okay, so consider the following table, patient and test, and answer the questions that follows. So here we have a patient table, and you can see we have a 5 columns and some 5 rows, and you can see the description of the columns, and then you can see we have another table called test, and these are the values. Name the primary key in both the tables and foreign key in patient table. Okay, primary key from the test table is test id, and patient is p code. And what will be the foreign key? I think test id will be the foreign key because this test id is based on the test table. Okay, and one more thing, we cannot have any value in this table which do not or which is not present in the test table. For example, if I have to write T501, then to be present here, it should be present in test table. If it is not, so if you have used or created a foreign key and it is working properly, then your relational database management system doesn't allow insertion of a new row which is not present in the test table. Okay. So now you can see primary key for the patient table is p code, as it is unique to each row of table. Primary key in the test table is test id, as it is unique to each row of a table. And you can see foreign key in table patient colon id test id, as it links the two tables in a primary key in a test table. And see the marks how it has been noted. Half marks each for identifying primary key of both tables, half marks for foreign key identification, and half marks for mentioning any one reason for primary key or foreign key. Hope you do understand. Now coming to the C part. With reference to the above table, write command in SQL for 1, 2, 3, and notice for the query you are getting 2 marks. So this question is of 2 marks, and then we have this another question that is of 2 marks as well, and then third also. So now let us see what it is and how to do it. To display name of patient, test ID, and test name for those patients who are admitted between this date to this date, both data dates inclusive. And see, now let us see and carefully analyze that from which tables we need these columns. Okay, so name of the patient and test id is present in the patient table, and then test name is present in the test table. Okay, if you check it out, patient table is this. So we have a p code or name, patient name is from here, Amita Sharma, and test ID is T102, and T102 is a homogram test. Okay, so from these two tables, we need these columns. So let's see how we can do it. So select name patient dot test ID comma test name. Here notice we can use patient dot test ID or test dot test ID, or if we have used the alias name, then we can specify the alias name as well. Now let us see the solutions and analyze it so that you can write. Okay. So first solution is select name patient dot test ID test name. So these are the columns which we want from patient comma test both the tables. Then where patient dot test ID is equals to test dot test ID, and then finally we need a condition which implies or which filters out the tuples on the basis of this. Okay. So between 101 December 2017, you can use DYYY dash M dash DD format as well. So it would be somewhat like this 2017 dash 12 dash 01. Okay. Similarly here also like that only. Okay. Now the another option is to use somewhat like this. Select name patient dot t test ID test ID. You can see the how condition is being framed. So instead of using between, we have used greater than equals to and less than equals to. Right? Previously, we have also I have taught you that there is no to keyword in computer science. You can see we have used and. Right? And then let us see the alias name version of the query. Now you can check it out. Select name, comma p dot test ID. So instead of a completely writing a table name, we have used a alias name, and so this will shorten our query a little bit. Similarly, test dot test space t, where p dot test ID is equals to p dot test ID. So here, in place of a space, you can use as well. For example, from patient as P, comma test as T. Okay, so in both the cases, in both the ways, you can specify alias name, right? And this is the another version which uses alias name as well as greater than and equals to with the and. So any of the combination will work for you. Now let us see how marks can be allotted. Half marks for the select query. So up to from clause, we need 1 marks, okay, or 1 marks is allotted. So half marks for the select and half marks for the from, half marks for the correct use of a join and half marks for the correct use of condition. Okay, and D, you can see D admit in default date format YYY should also be accepted. Okay, now coming to the next, display name of patient, test name and cost. So here you can see these two columns are present in the test table, while name of the patient and test is present in a patient table. So here this oh, sorry, is not present in the patient table. So one column from the patient table and two columns from the test table. So we need a join, and uh, let's see what the rest of the query says. Who have Sharma in the element? So we need to pattern match. Let's see how we can do. So select name from the patient, test name, comma test, sorry, cost from patient, comma test, where patient dot test ID is equals to test dot txt ID. So this is all the same which we have learned previously. And notice we haven't used a table name because name is not present in other table, or these columns are present in the tables only one time. Okay, and then finally the filter and name like percent Sharma percent. Okay, so with the alias name you can do it, or then you can see here we have used a p dot name. That's perfectly fine. You can use it if you want it, right? So let's see see the marking scheme, half marks for the select, half marks for the from, half marks for the correct use of a join, and half marks for using the condition. Okay, so now so if you have correctly mentioned all the columns, you get a half marks. If you have specified all the tables, then you get a half marks. And half marks for the correct join condition if you are able to write where p dot test id is equals to t dot test id or any of the valid join condition. Half marks for the correct use of condition, that is name like person Sharma person. Okay, so let's move to the next part of this question, and which says to increase the cost of those tests in the table test by 50 rupees that have cost below 200. I think it's really simple. We just have to update all the data. So update is the command which we are going to use. Update test, since price is in the test table, so that's why we have used test. Set cost is equals to cost plus 50. So whatever the cost, it will be increased by 50. And the filter is where cost less than 200 rupees. So let's see the marking scheme for this. Half marks for the update, half marks for the set, and half marks for the where class. Hope this is understood by you. And I think this is really very, very easy. Okay. So that's all for the day. Thank you. And I'm going to give you one more question along with this video so that you can practice both the three questions, question number 3, 4, 3, 5, and a 6. Right? So bye bye for now. Thank you and have a nice day.